You mentioned at the beginning of the conversation that it was a limited edition. So how limited is it?
I'm not 100% sure. It's limited edition in this. Well, I don't know. I mean, here's what I'm thinking is they made a certain number of them. I don't exactly know how many they made. I know for a fact that they made a much smaller number than they would make for I think say like a essential guide or something because the price point is so much higher. But I think that it's selling very well. If it sells very well, I don't see any reason why they wouldn't go back and do more printings of it. So I'm usually, 2 steps removed from the day-to-day how well it's selling thing, but I'm pretty sure that if it does well, then you'll still be able to get one in time for Christmas. But the idea is that most of the outlets, Amazon.com, especially international, Amazon.com has it, Amazon UK has it, Amazon Canada, Amazon France, Germany, I think, and Amazon Japan, I think, are the outlets that you can order from internationally. And then there are various agreements with other locations to have it. I have heard that it will be available in some Borders bookstores here in the U.S., and I'm sure that there's other deals that are being worked out as well in other countries. But usually the first thing, if anybody asks, I always tell them to go to Amazon first and search for Jedi Path.
Completely. Yeah. On a scale of 1 to 10, how pleased are you with it?
Oh, geez, I think I'm at a 10. I mean, I really loved the writing it. It was so much fun, and then the packaging was better than I thought it was going to be. It was just the look of the book, the illustrations, because it has some great art from a lot of great artists, really with a lot of varying styles. I think there's up to 10 different artists who worked on it. Some familiar Star Wars names: Chris Trevis, Chris Reif, Jeff Carlisle, Terrell Whitlatch, who's a concept designer for Episode 1, Paul Allen Ballard, Tommy Lee Edwards, just some really good stuff. And the style is very divergent. You get some portrait stuff, you get some action stuff, you get diagram for like fighting styles, like sort of karate sort of diagrams. You get cutaways for blueprints, just all kinds of really divergent stuff. It feels like which it was supposed to. It feels like it's the work of many hands. Intentionally so, because it's supposed to be this very old tome that was put together from the best of the best.
You've got a problem, because how the hell do you follow this?
I don't know. But I'm really, really hoping that I can do something else like this. I mean, if this is a big hit, I would love to do something else like, some other time. But, what do you do? I don't know what you do. I mean, a lot of fans are saying, "Hey, this was a lot of fun. Why don't you do the Sith path?" And I said, "I'd love to do that, but I don't know. I'm not sure if Lucasfilm would want to do that or not." I mean, obviously the biggest question is if this sells enough and everybody's excited and they want to do another one because they think that there's some interest in doing it. That's a hurdle that we have to clear. But beyond that, what would you be able to do? There's a lot of things that would be fun to do beyond the Sith. I mean, you could do the Sith thing. You could do sort of Imperial, military guide. You could do some sort of bounty hunter, Mandalorian thing, some sort of star fighter or smuggler, star pilot type of guide. Or there's all kinds of fun things that you could do, and certainly I've been thinking about those things. But as of right now, we don't have a green light on anything. I think we're still just waiting to see, especially with the holidays coming up, how this book does and how well it takes off. But the fan reaction has been really positive.
I think a clone training guide would be pretty awesome with a preface written by Boba Fett or Jango Fett, and you could you could have Boba interspersing all the way through. Maybe he finds it later on when he's grown up or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting idea because I mean I think both of those things could potentially work, and they're almost like two different directions. One is you could take like a clone guide that could also be sort of a stormtrooper guide, and obviously that would be very white and look like the stormtrooper sort of that white clamshell armor thing, and something military, or you could go more of the Boba Fett thing, and it could be more of a multicolored Mandalorian something, and maybe it becomes less of a bounty or less of a military thing and more of a bounty hunter's guide or something like that. But I don't know. Those things are fun. I'm just trying to think of what are the iconic things about Star Wars. I mean, the Jedi and lightsabers is probably number one, and that's what this book is all centered around. But at the same time, blasters and stormtroopers and spaceships and hyperspace and in aliens, and there's a lot of things that we love about these movies that would be fun material to explore.
So
this type of format.
So apart from your continued work on Star Wars Insider, are you working on any other Star Wars books at the moment?
I'm working on one. I'm working on a little bit of a project now. Won't be out till next year. I think it's still early enough that it's still kind of have a question mark on it. I don't probably be able to talk about it a little bit later. But it's kind of a fun little project. I am, I have the Star Wars Year by Year is out now from DK, the Jedi Path, the DC Comics book. And so right now I'm keeping myself busy with a couple of smaller projects while waiting to hear on some other stuff. So TBD. Yeah, I definitely have some things scheduled for release in 2011, but cool. I think they're early enough in the process that I've got to wait 4 months or so before they find their way out into the press release stage.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
Dan, was there more content that wasn't included for any particular reason that you perhaps would have liked to have seen?
Yeah, we originally came up with an outline, and then I had come up with details in that, and then we sort of fleshed it out from there. So the main beats found their way into the book, but there's little bits that got cut out as I was going through. We didn't have room for certain comments because they didn't fit in the margins, or I had written too much for one page and just layout wise you couldn't fit them all there, and little things like that. So you kind of go through it and you're like, oh, it's too bad that little bit got lost. But for the most part, it was designed enough that I knew the space that we had to fill, and nothing too painful got cut out. It was mostly a matter of seeing the text, seeing it get laid out, seeing the artwork get placed in around it, and the comments get placed in the margins, and just seeing how that all worked together, because it looks so much better when you're finished than it does when it's just text in a Microsoft Word document. It just on your screen, it's like it just kind of you kind of feel it, but it doesn't really feel genuine until you see the finished product. Then it really feels like it's an artifact.
Absolutely.
Well, we'd just like to say thank you very much for giving up your time, spending half an hour with us, and talking about the Jedi Path, which is out now, available to buy from Amazon. It's a must for any Star Wars fan.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much, Dan.
Hey, no problem.
Dan.
Thanks, guys.
We'll catch up with you soon.
All right, sounds good. Thanks.
Cheers.
All right, take care.